Are you still trying to get rid of mothball smell, even though you've tried everything else recommended on the internet? Sunlight, uh, vinegar, baking soda, tart charcoal. Stay tuned. That is the exact question we're going to answer this morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. I am Deb Meyer, president and owner of OdorXit. And we get that question a lot. How do I get rid of mothball smell in my clothing, chest of drawers? First, we'd love it if you'd go down and hit the subscribe button. You will be notified each time we publish a new video. Our goal is one a week, but we've been to dog shows and other things, believe it or not, in this crazy time. So we haven't been here for the last couple of weeks. And next week is Thanksgiving. But today is mothballs. So if you're still having mothball odor in, say, your vintage clothing, you found some really great clothes at a yard sale or loved one's attic, and they put mothballs in there to make them last forever, so the moths didn't eat them and the mice didn't eat them. Or maybe you're putting mice in your attic, mothballs in your attic to get rid of the mice or the squirrels. And it works. Mothballs work to get rid of those little creatures because they're toxic. And guess what? They're toxic for you too. They are made of naphthalene or paradichlorobenzene, which, if you can't hardly pronounce it, it's probably not good to breathe, which in this case, it's not. So certain levels is toxic to humans. You don't want to continue to breathe that. It will damage your lungs, your nasal passages. Plus, it just smells bad. So what can you do to get rid of these smells? I really love it if you guys would write into the comments section some of the products you have used that and whether they worked or not. Charcoal, baking soda, vinegar. I mean, tell me, what have you used that's been successful? And maybe if your mothball smell isn't permeated throughout the whole item, those things will work. But we get lots of calls here at OdorXit. How do I get rid of the smell of mothball odor in my chest of drawers, my cedar chest, places that are worth keeping? And so how do you get rid of those smells? Well, what we recommend is our product, AQM, Air Quality Manager. It puts out a gas into the air once you open it and you add a little bit of moisture to it. It is a safe gas when you follow our instructions. Chlorine dioxide is actually chlorine with added oxygen. So if chlorine is good to get rid of lots of things, germs, they use it in veterinary offices to clean up after each dog so that whatever the dog had doesn't get passed to the other dog. If chlorine is good, chlorine with more oxygen added has got to be better, right? So that's what we've got. AQM, Air Quality Manager. You put it behind a fan, so the fan grabs the gas it creates and sends it throughout the area. So in the case of a chest of drawers, cedar chest, put it in the middle of a room, sit it on one side, open the door, open the drawers, lid, whatever. Make sure all the sides are exposed as best as they can be. So that gas is going to circulate over the drawers, over the lid, wherever that mothball gas has had a chance to permeate. And it will get rid of that smell. It adds oxygen and it makes it go away. Same thing with vintage clothing. Hang them on a hanger. If you don't have a closet available, or you got more stuff that a closet will hold, make your own little hanger. Take 2 chairs, take a broomstick and put it across the back of the chairs, hang your clothes on there, make it so there's enough space between them so that gas can flow. It's going to, again, oxidize, add that extra oxygen to chlorine to oxidize the smells, the gases. Now, mothballs are good for what you want them to be. But if you're going to use them to get rid of mice or in your shed, in your attic, wherever you're trying to get rid of them, squirrels, all kinds of them. Couple things you need to know. One, those mothballs produce a gas forever until they actually, those chemicals melt away. It's like a solid ball that produces a gas. The gas is what you smell. And when you use things like fabric softener sheets and vinegar and charcoal, those things absorb the gas in the air. They don't do anything for the source of the odor, that mothball. You really, even with our product, you have to get rid of all those mothballs. So how do you use them successfully and then get rid of them when you're done? Put them in a sock, put them in a nylon, hang them there so they're all in the same place. Put them in different places in your attic or a shed or wherever the offending little critters are you're trying to get rid of. And then when it's all done, said and done, you know where to go to get rid of those mothballs. Just throw that sock away. Let your trash can smell like mothballs till the garbage man comes. But that's going to get rid of it. I even heard somebody on the internet say, use toothpaste to get rid of the mothball smell. So I don't know if that works or not. Maybe after you touch them and you place them, you need to, I don't know. It's an interesting concept. Charcoal, same thing. It's absorbing the gas in the air. It's not stopping the mothball from producing that deadly gas. And so use a sock, use a nylon, something to collect them. If you take them one by one and throw them in your attic into the insulation, they're going to burrow themselves somewhere in that insulation. You got 10 inches of insulation and that mothball works its way in there somehow, and now you can't find it. You've got to replace all that insulation. It's a very expensive proposition when all you're trying to do is get rid of the smell. So don't put your mothballs in that way. But you do have to get rid of them because they will continue to produce that gas until they totally dissolve. If you've got that mothball smell in your attic and those mothballs are embedded into the insulation, it's still going to smell. The AQM is probably not going to solve your problem. So, but once you get rid of that insulation and you've still got that smell, AQM, Air Quality Manager, and depending on the size of your attic or the room that smells, we have two different sizes. This one, the green one, will do 2,000 cubic feet of surface area. So, and the yellow one does half that at 1,000 cubic feet or 1,000 surface area. So what that means is you got to count the walls, the ceiling, any materials in that room is surface area. And the other thing you want to remember, always get rid of cardboard boxes. The corrugated cardboard boxes hold that odor, especially if it's mold. That mold eats that cardboard for breakfast. It eats the cardboard for breakfast or for food. So you really got to get rid of it because the AQM, it renders the AQM ineffective. The mold will still be there. So the boxes got to go. Same thing with the mothball smell. You got to get rid of those boxes. Vintage clothing, you can save easily. You can get rid of those mothball odors throughout your whole house. Be totally odor free when all those other products have failed. So hand washing clothes, probably not going to get rid of that smell either. It's a gas embedded into those fibers, and I can't imagine that cold water on some of those old vintage clothing is so old, the fibers are worn a bit. They're not going to take putting in a washing machine, and they're not going to release that mothball smell easily. So if you need to get rid of mothball smells, especially when everything else has failed, OdorXit AQM is your answer. If you ever have questions on any other odors, and again, put what has been successful for you or not successful for you in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have tried, and we'll keep the conversation going that way. So if you need answers to any odors, OdorXit.com. We've got it. Thanks for tuning in, and you have a great day.